All right, we can begin. So, talk for tonight. Yesterday evening, I've been speaking about the three universal characteristics, giving you an idea of what it means and how is it in reality when you experience them. This evening, I will speak a little bit further about the nature of insight that we experience when we practice insight meditation. Before that, I will tell you a short account to illustrate a point or two. When I first came to Europe, my friend, I first landed in Switzerland. To make us to get to the point, I'm not going to tell you my adventures. It's boring. So one day when I was there, one day in 1999, is it? 1998, around the end of 1998. My friend there at that time came to me and says, do you know Joseph Goldstein and his group is having a retreat not too far away. In a place called Lake Constance, between the border with Germany. Yes, Karen? Between Switzerland and Germany, right in the south. I want you to meet him. He is the Western teacher and so on. And so he wants to arrange a meeting with me. Oh, well, I was new there, so okay, this is such a big name and so on. Curious. Yeah. So I'm more curious what else that window. It's only a ghost. Oh, ghost. I used to see ghosts outside the window. Must be Andy's ghost. Sometimes I see ghosts, you know. In Kota Tinggi, we have a Dhamma talk on the first floor. big hall, then there are windows all over. I see somebody outside the window. You know, that means they must be standing on air or something like that. Very strange. But anyway, coming back to my topic. So I went, to make a story short. And they was having a retreat there, it was crowded. So one day alone with him, with his teachers and his people there, I had a question to ask him. I don't remember how I addressed him. Anyway, I remember the questions. What, after all your years of teaching in the West, because I'm a newcomer at that time, what is the most difficult thing that you face from the yogis? And after I taught, he said, being judgmental. Then I asked, what about being too so goal orientated? I said, our main problem in Malaysia, if there is one, is being goal orientated. And said that too, but not as much as just being judgmental. What do you think, Karen? One of the biggest obstacles we face among Western yogis is they being judgmental. Judgmental. Yes?
That's German.
That's German. Or Italian also. So there must be some truth in it. I met an Italian yogi, his own practitioner. He says his main progress came after he threw away the cares of who cares what thinks about him. It's how people judge him. So that's being judgmental. So we'll start with this topic. In Asia, I don't think so. Mitchell, you think being judgmental is your big problem? And you, over you? Probably not, you see? Even me also, I wouldn't think so. No, that's not my main problem. The only main problem when I started with was trying to get results. It's being goal-oriented. What I think is there's nothing wrong with being judgmental. We have to judge things. You have to judge things to make an assessment of the situation. Then you know what to do. So you meditate, you generally have to judge whether you're doing correctly or not. That ought to be the case. So there's nothing wrong about judging as long as you judge it properly according to the right criteria. There's another thing about judgmental is, as they say, it's more of an ego thing, whereby you are very sensitive of how people judge you. That is more judgmental in the ego thing. In such cases, nothing to do with you, is they are doing the judging, not you. Of course, you can be judging other people, then you are being judgmental. And you're doing wrongly, that is a problem. If you do it rightly, then okay, then you know what to do next. I bring up this point because of when we talk about practice and insight, we all expect and want progress. It's natural, you practice something, of course you expect something from it. Uh, uh, Except that it's a complete dana, then of course you don't expect too much in return or anything in return. Still, uh, for many things, there's some expectation as long as you know the expectation is realistic and you also expect it not to happen. So, because this comes with craving, and craving causes suffering. So when you practice, of course, you expect some result. Otherwise, what do you want to practice? Why? To pass time? Well, I can think there are many things to pass time here between meditation, which are easier, like eating coffee and cakes, drinking coffee and eating cakes, caffeine cooking. Chinese again is what? Yum cha. So the point is being realistic. So how do you judge the progress? Well, it depends on what you're practicing to progress. You practice samatha, then of course the level of progress in right concentration. You practice in vipassana, then you come to the progress of insight. And insight, you talk about the insight knowledges. There are many ways to classify insight knowledges. There were 16 insight knowledge. Another way is the 18 great insights. Personally, I prefer the 18 great insights. 60 insight knowledges are levels of insights that have been categorized as you get closer to the path of fruition, to the realization of Nibbana. So you go to different levels of insight. And it has been enumerated the 60 insights. A better way to classify it, I think, is the 7 purifications. But they go hand in hand, equivalent to it. One emphasizes on the purification. The other one emphasizes on the how deep and sharp or mature the insight is. Of course, depending on that, how much purification occurs. Yeah, what are the 16 insight knowledges? I won't go into all this. You can read it all about it. Yeah, so many books, like the Visuddhimagga, the Vasimedra of Insight, and you have this. You just have to look into internet. And they're all down there. And they all try to describe to it according to what they think is correct, accordance with the text, or what they feel. So, do you believe in it? Some people don't believe it. One monk even says, The Buddha didn't teach inside knowledges, levels of inside knowledges. It's created by later people. One even goes to say the word insight is hardly used in the Tipitaka. The word more often used is samadhi. Well, no, they have their own opinions. Of course, there's insight. The Buddha mentioned it so many times. But what is important is the direct experience of insight. You read from the book so many so that blah 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 blah. Finally, talk about Maganyana, Falanyana, Pachavekananyana. Those knowledges that concern with realization and liberation. After reading it, do you think you have got elected? Certainly not. You have some theory somewhere in your head. It could be correct, could be wrong, but that's in your head. So, what is more important is that you practice to actually experience it as a realization, all knowledges one by one. For that, you get an experience, you have to judge. Now, what on earth is this that I'm experiencing? If it's an inside knowledge, what inside knowledge is it? Which inside knowledge is it? You able to do that? You can try. You can try. If you really have experienced the insight, you may be able to, but not necessary. I can tell you why. It's not so easy to judge. First of all, now we talk about the different aspects of the insight. First is the characteristic of that particular insight. And to recognize that that particular insight is characteristics. And on top of that, you have to know the field it occupies. Now, that's how you put a point in the center, and then you have to, is the main characteristic of insight. Of this, let's say first or second or third insight. It's the main characteristic. First insight is Namarupa Paricheda Jnana, that's the name. First characteristic to me is a clear experience of anatta. I can know that. And with these characteristics, there are many experiences. Like energy is a mental state, but you can experience energy in so many ways. When you have too much energy, you have too little energy, and so on. No? Energy in walking, energy in talking, all energy, and you experience it differently. So similarly, this insight knowledge has a range of experiences that comes under this. So how? As I said so many times, all concerning non-self. But all vipassana experiences have non-self. What is the base? So which is the comes under the first insight knowledge. What's the difference between the insight, non-self experience in the first knowledge, the second knowledge, the third knowledge, the fourth knowledge, the tenth knowledge? Which shows the difference? Of course, there are differences. Yeah. So when you saw non-self experience, the field is very wide, everything about the Paramata Dhammas, the whole Paramata Dhammas. When your first insight knowledge is limited to a certain level or degree of mindfulness. That's just that. Now, because of the range of experiences, the experience of non-self in this first level, many types. You can experience non-self with pain, you can non-self with rising, falling, you can non-self with thinking, you can experience all these big personal things, you can experience non-self. Yeah. And they seem very different. Okay. But the trouble is, people make wrong judgments. So even what you call the characteristics of impermanent and suffering and all those are also present to some extent in the first insight knowledge. So within this range of first insight, you can have many experiences which are very close to the higher insight knowledges. Right? And so people who want to progress very fast will quickly jump to conclusion. I already got second. I already got a third. Actually, they're still hanging around first insight knowledge. And after that, they become so attached, they become wrong view and move down to no insight knowledge, hallucination. See, so be careful. There's a system. I don't know give names. This system of meditation, they say, is one type of a branch of Mahasi system. But the Mahasi teachers don't acknowledge them. They claim no. So what happens is when they meditate, they be watch rising, falling, and all that, sensation. Then after 1 or 2 days or 3 days, they meet aditana, resolution. With the first insight, knowledge arises. Okay. The second day, with the second insight, knowledge arises. So after 10 days, you get 10 insight knowledges. That's what they do. Don't laugh, look, because what appears in the experience are quite close to what you see in the book. So you see, because the mind, especially if you have read the things, the mind can create these symptoms. You correct these symptoms and then you really conclude it, and you really think it is, but it is not. It's mind created, not spontaneous from direct experience. Sometimes you don't think the mind can create this also. By nature of the aditana, the words that comes out, things like that. So it can be very misleading. And you think 20 people do this are quite alike. The effect is a certain way of manifesting itself. So one day the time I was still involved in that center, people asked me, but they amazing when these people, they're very well behaved and everything, and they do this aditana, day by day they get one insight after another. I told a friend, managing them, please, don't be so naive. So many people just get one insight after another just by making aditana. What do you think is inside? So easy. What do you think? Then you start thinking, actually, how can you so easy? Another more ridiculous case. Few ridiculous case. So you don't tell you so you don't be so gullible. This happened in Sri Lanka. Of course, these Malaysians were pretty a lot of faith and a pretty gullible lot. So what happens that they went to Sri Lanka and they practiced and the teachers just tell, okay, you go enlighten, you go enlighten, you go. And within a short while, the whole plane load of people went to Sri Lanka and the whole plane load came back enlightened. So of course, they come to tell me, many of them come, my students will come and tell me, please, don't be so naive. Ask them, how do you get enlightened? How is enlightenment like? Say, one even said, when I saw meditating, I was in the balcony, I looked at the river, and I saw the river flowing, and then suddenly I become so happy, a lot of joy arises. And then they told her, it seems that she thinks she got a stream in her. Look at the stream flowing. Please. I mean, it's very obvious, but people want it so badly. There's even a case where one of these people who was supposed to be enlightened in the aeroplane just started stealing things, taking things from the plane. They serve food and all those. She started taking the spoon, the aeroplane spoons, and all those things. No, how can you do this? Stealing, adinadana, steal it, give somebody this. Obviously, it's not. Then another case in Burma. Burma. So not everything that comes from Burma is very good. So Burma came back enlightened. Why? Because you stand there, they were doing a Dhamma talk. And they're talking in Burmese. When she listened to the Burmese people talk, she had a lot of faith and she had a lot of joy. And sometimes she will lose awareness and things like that. But then when she told, people told her, you're already enlightened. Really? Then they started trying to convince her, yes, because of this, because of you're enlightened. Oh yes, I'm enlightened, and she was so happy. How can this happen? You don't have common sense. They have a lot of craving for results. And so they jump into these conclusions. When a person ends up like that, do you know what happens? He goes into a kind of madness. It goes into a trance because if people tell him, no, this is not, be careful, they will shut you off. And these people in Sri Lanka, when they come now, they were reminded not to discuss that experience with anybody. They won't understand, so keep it only to yourself. But of course, Malaysians or Singaporeans, for that matter, a lot of Singaporeans fall in the trap also, the same trap. When they, so, they fall into the trap. But of course, as Malaysians, Singaporeans, they cannot keep secrets. so nice, wonderful experience. How can I not tell anybody? They want to tell everybody. And so enough cats have been let out of their bags. You to let a cat out of the bag, that means exposes the that's why it's important to come. The second thing, if a person has not reached that level and he thinks very strongly has reached that level, a special realization, the path is blocked. Further insights will not arise, especially the path question, because you're holding on to something and you cannot let go anymore. And so it's a big obstacle. Okay, now coming back to our judgment of the talk about the main characteristic of inside knowledge. Then there's the fields of inside knowledge, as I said. So we see this, if the characteristic of this first insight is here, you have a range of experiences in the first insight. And if the second insight knowledge, you have a range of experience in the second knowledge. Right? Now what happens is the range, the experiences in each insight knowledge does not limit itself to that insight knowledge. They share a particular characteristic that is peculiar of that insight knowledge. But they have also other characteristics which are not that insight knowledge. So what happens is within this field of the first insight knowledge and the field of the second insight knowledge, there are shared experiences. Because the second insight knowledge to arise must come to the first insight knowledge first. Yeah. And so you see the experiences shared in the first and second knowledge are shared. Right. We find it the same also in samatha and vipassana. You know, samatha experiences is a range of experiences. Vipassana is a range of experiences. Now, in the beginning, you don't have real insight yet, but you're practicing vipassana according to vipassana instructions and incline you to that insight knowledges. And the samatha inclined you, right, to the absorptions, to the jhanas or the samadhi. Now, in the beginning, they are shared experiences. You can't say you're doing samatha, you can't say you're doing vipassana, because they're shared experiences. Also, we use anapanasati object in the long breath. Anapanasati object can be vipassana or can be samatha. When you go through as your concentration increases, they are shared experiences. Later, when we come up, the road becomes more clearly divided, then you know. The clear sign is for vipassana, the first insight knowledge, anatta. For the clear samatha, it's the arising of the nimitta, the sign of concentration, usually more like a visual form. So you see, but other than that, they are shared. Because the samatha beginning experience also changes. Not changes moment to moment in terms of the anicca lakkhana, still changes. Only when it goes further, the change becomes less and less, and it becomes stationary. So there are fields of experience and they overlap. So you quickly come to a conclusion, and then you can be wrong. And these fields of experience, sometimes people take it as the objects. rather than the particular characteristic, for example, anatta. Then it becomes more complicated. Now, the third thing I'd like to mention is there's a level of insight in the 16 levels. Then there's the maturity of the insight. The level of insight and the maturity of insight are two different things. You can stay in the same level, but your insight can be very mature. So it's not the same. But if it's very mature, it will automatically, unless you don't have any major obstacles, proceed into the second insight knowledge, third and fourth. It depends on the individual mind setup. For example, the model of progress. There are many models of progress depending on individuals. The standard model is the conifer. The conifer is a Christmas tree. Malaysia, Christmas tree refers to all conifers. Because the shape is conical. Now, what happens is, how does the tree grow? First, it establishes roots. And the roots are established, and the shoot come out, and then the trunk come out, and the branches come out, and it goes higher and higher. So the development of the top part depends on the development of the lower part. The more the base is developed, the higher the tree can grow. And that's the standard. So when the lower knowledges, the lower purifications are established more, and the concentration becomes better, the insight also develops higher. Because they're interdependent. So, but when you talk of the level of when you talk maturity, it's like, the base of the tree is very mature. I mean, it grows very big, very large, but it doesn't grow tall so fast. This is the maturity of the lower knowledges grow long and fast and very expensive, but from the one level to the next, it grows slowly. So the tree is like a stunted tree, Higher developed, more mature developed lower knowledges, but the higher knowledges rise slowly. That happens. Some people, the lower knowledges develop, but not so much, but enough for the next knowledge to arise. So it grows higher faster. But doesn't mean it's very good. Because the upper levels are not so mature, which means it doesn't flower and fruit either. The main thing is the flowering and the fruiting, the path and the fruition. Now, what is most easily mistaken is the people judge according to the objects they come across or in people describe. I was saying the other day, in Burma sometimes we sit in a group and then we report to the side of so he was listening to this report from one of the yogis. He report, meditate, he get these certain experiences, and And the mind suddenly lapses into a kind of gap, a blank state, and so on. And he heard somewhere that when people get enlightened, they experience this type of state. The mind goes blank. Ah, when you listen to that, talking and the yogi is supposed to be quite advanced. Then he told me, you know, I think I'm enlightened. He thinks, the moment he thinks there is something wrong. Why? Because I got the same type of blackouts or blank state of mind like your friend. Yes. Yes. No. So he's making judgment from certain description of certain objects or certain experience to other people or from elsewhere. And that's the mistake because you judge it according to objects, for example, very difficult, can be very far from the truth. Take for example, some the people read yoga, meditation, and then they said that third to fourth inside knowledge, you tend to see a lot of lights, a lot of joy, and so on. This I call the upakresa. This you have to become the 10th upakresa. And so, you meditate that it's all lot of lights and it's all lot of joy. So I must be in that inside knowledge. Could be very wrong. Because lights and joy arise very often with concentration. There's nothing to do with insight in that case. Lights and joy comes easily with concentration. In fact, it does not need concentration to arise. Some people have a strong tendency or skill, or not skill, habit, or type of mind that visualizes and see visions. Yeah. Some people, they want psychic powers, they always try to make their mind see things, visions. I can see in the future, Mitchell will be a great teacher. Uh, then I see, no, Mitchell is not so good. Mei-Ling is will be even a bigger teacher than him, and they will fight. I'm joking, but no, these are the hallucinations people say. So it doesn't mean when certain things ascribed to certain inside knowledge that they are the inside knowledge. I remember once in the beginning of meditation, I was telling you, I think, I was meditating, and then the meditation, there's a book, like a small pocket book, where it talks about the inside knowledges, 16 inside knowledges. One is more for the vipassana teacher, but these people, I saw it and said, oh, this is interesting. So, first inside knowledge, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then this thing, second inside knowledge, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Third inside knowledge, it's all listed out in black and white. Look, let me see what happens. I got this, tick, got it, done it, seen it. Number 2, I got it, seen it, done it, tick. Those are the things where I got the first inside knowledge. And when the second one, done it, done it, done it, done it. No, after that, I'm not sure. Anyway, I try some meditate, then we get very sure. Afterwards, I get a lot of other experiences which you cannot find in the book. Now, it doesn't seem to be listed here. This list of 16 inside knowledge. But I know definitely it's Vipassana. The teacher also acknowledged and said, well, I'm imagining things. Because they're all sankharas, formations, process. Throw it. As you progress a long time, it's not so easy to judge. A lot of uncovered, uncharted grounds that people don't write about it. Sometimes it's not so clear. Sometimes like either this inside knowledge or that inside knowledge, the characteristics of different inside knowledges together. Which are you going to take? See, it's not so easy to judge. So how? So I come to say, well, of course, it's good that you know all about this, but you know that they are just theoretical. If you are not, you may not have experienced it, and even you experience it, you may not realize it is. Because there's no concepts, You read all this, they're all concepts. So, being a practical Chinaman as I am, I learned to make things simple. Everything, all those 16 inside knowledges come under the three inside knowledges. Which three inside knowledges? Inside knowledge into impermanence, inside knowledge into suffering, inside knowledge into non-self. What you see, you can categorize it. And from your practice, you can see how mature the jnana, the knowledge is. So you generally know how, have an idea how far you are going to progress. You may not tell exactly where you progress, but you know that you progress. That is good enough. So that is one good way of is to bring your mind to ask yourself, is my perception of impermanence stronger? Is my perception of non-self stronger? Is my perception of suffering stronger, clearer, sharper? So on. I just give you a good guideline. I used to use that. And also that I talked about the 16 centuries and 18 Maha Vipassana. This is the 18 great insights. 18 great insights, is what you call, you can read about it in the Mahasi when you're there. And I like this part because it does not what you call give you a grade, like a steps. 1, 2, 3, 4. It does not give you that. The 16 inside knowledge is like graded from the starting to the end. No? Well, in this one, it doesn't talk you to the starting to the end. It talks you the insights, how insights, by how it purifies the mind. For example, one of the first three insights is this three insight. Insight into impermanent, insight into suffering, insight into non-self. Tells you. And the insight into impermanence, suffering, non-self can be experienced all the way up to all the 16 inside knowledges. Probably not all the 16 because Magaphala, Nibbana, Nirvana. There's only non-self, no suffering and no impermanence because of the unconditioned object of Nibbana. But other than that, all the way involved. I think there's a more good way. And I also say this because, I'm not very aware of the Nyanzin Tek. Nyanzin Tek. Have you heard of that?
Yeah, it's the cassette they used to play with the Vipassana Jnana and let you judge yourself.
That's right. It's a talk given by Mahasi where he describes the different jhanas, inside knowledges, as it progresses. Something you read in the book, in terms of more experiential manner, and then it goes and reach up to the realization. Then, so what happens is when the people then go to another teacher and then they meditate, then after a while, then the teacher thinks his feet, or he wants to go back, or whatever reason, more than one reason, it allows him to listen to that tape. That means you know enough, you're worthy to be listening to the tape. Now the tape does not confirm anything, and any which part you have reached. It's only give you an idea of the vipassana jhanas, how experiences can occur. And it's up to you to judge, as he puts in, how far you think you've gone, how far you think you have to practice more. He even goes to he tries to describe the realization process. But he also says that it's not a confirmation of anything. Because it says clearly that meditation teachers don't confirm. In the sense that they are, we'll use the word, facilitators. The important thing is give advice so that you improve. So that is a very important thing because it's a matter of self-realization. So what happens is some people, they're very attached to be able to be allowed to listen to the tape. And then some people even go to conclude and they listen to the tape, they already got a stream in there. Some people think that. So once they didn't get to listen to the tape after their retreat, they get very depressed. Usually they cry or something, And from what I heard, that the criteria for listening to the tape is varies with teachers and with who gets a chance to listen. For example, it seems that women yogis have a lot of chance to listen to the tape. And the most difficult one to get to listen to the tape are the monks. Because the lady yogis, a lot of sadha, a lot of they listen, they tell them not to do anything, they follow. They don't give trouble. Whereas the monks, they're so learned in the Tipitaka and all that thing, they listen, they become very judgmental. I think this is not according to the text. I think this. After that, especially when they're not happy with the practice and what is said, that they go back and start criticizing. And that seems what happened. So if you read all these things, know that you're reading only on the pages of a book. It does indicate something. It helps you to get an idea how far you've reached and how far you've gone on, and so on. You get an idea whether you're doing things on the road or not, doing at least on the road or not, doing things properly. But it does not do very well in telling exactly where you stand. It gives you a general idea. Unless you experience a very clear and very thorough, some people experiences practice progress according to the book. Uh, it's not the wish, but when you practice according to the instruction given, the progress goes up, 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 exactly as described. I've seen such cases. Some of the students are like that. But in more cases, no. Uh, no. Why? Because you see, another thing you should understand, be aware of, is that the mind works in cycles. And when you talk of progress, the first important thing, as I told you yesterday, is a progress as seen from the progress of the mental faculties. Faith, energy, mindfulness, concentration, insight. Of these faculties, controlling faculties, they all work together. They are what you call a team. Although the leading leader of the team is insight, wisdom faculty, all must be at the back of him. Otherwise, you're a general without army. What happens? You failed from the very start. So the mind works in cycles. You see, even one day, morning is good, afternoon is terrible, night time comes out again, the morning goes in a cycle. Sometimes suddenly you change. The morning hopeless, midday okay, night hopeless, And so this is only for, let's say, for daily experiences. So the faculties changed in the day, not so great. Yeah. But over a longer period of time, and there are smaller cycles and there are bigger cycles. As you progress in terms of experience, then you go down again. Mindfulness, different morning good, evening no good, sometimes beginning of the year good, end of the year no good. The bigger cycles and smaller cycles, you get affected by your personal conditions or even the external conditions. The cycle. But if you draw a graph with points and so on, then of course you can see generally progression. But from a single experience on a single sitting, no, unless it's very, very unusual and clear. Or from a day, it's difficult to conclude. Because some cycles start in a day, some cycles start in 3 days, and so on. But when the experience is very significant, the peculiar characteristic of the jnana, then you can conclude at least somewhere there. But it doesn't mean you can maintain, after you go home and you become a rogue and rascal, then you go and you're probably never going to come up again. So, the idea. So, otherwise, we come to a conclusion. Most important conclusion is the radical extermination of the defilements. That is radical. Because people can reach up to a very high inside knowledge. That's like, for example, number 11. They can still fall down. They still will downfall. So So I said, a miss can be as good as a mile. But if you've gone through many, the chances are better. But no 100%. Anyway, what I'm going to talk about the certain things involving the, the progress of insight knowledge. That is certain experiences, the mouth of voice. So you can wait until tomorrow. Tomorrow is the last hour. Tomorrow you are allowed to bring silence around in time. When it's at 5 o'clock. That's it. But no, there are people who still want to do their meditation. So don't talk so loud, don't talk so much. You know, especially when it's not in the meditation hall. No? Okay, any questions? Any question? So, it's everything. Huh? Everything clear. Richard? Yeah? Really? Clear? Yeah?
Maybe one question. Not about today's talk, but Bhante used the word transcendental experience.
Mm.
When you reach when the can Bhante explain again like
Yes, transcendental, not in the sense of the TM method. The TM method or to what extent people the transcendental meditation. Transcendental meditation, transcendental means is transcending the different levels of reality. Yeah. So from conventional reality, you practice enough to see the superficiality of it. You leave it behind, and you go to a deeper reality called the ultimate realities in terms of its specific characteristics. And then you go further, the deeper inside knowledge or conditioning that cutting through. This, the reality that you take at first is no longer true. So that means it's not absolutely true. It's true only at that level. So you go and you go to the even a deeper reality than that. So you transcend the other one. And this one is transcend. Transcend in terms of vipassana, inside experience.
so it can be different levels and progress.
Yeah, because when you even when you learn something, you think it's true, but suddenly somebody discovers very much, oh, this is only true only to a certain level. The other theory is usually more correct or something. This is not science of experience, reality. Come back in 15 minutes or so.
สา